Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 6 of 100 Days of Magic. Today, I have downloaded a new program, and we're going to do some screen capture here, and we're going to try to do some previews go over what the commander, what we think about our new previews. And, there's a lot more to come, and this is not all of them, but let's get to it. First one that we're going to look at is Angelic Exaltation. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It's you it's that weird place that you want to put it in a go tall deck, but you also want to put it in a go wide deck because you have to go wide to go tall. And there may be a sweet spot there. There may be a certain commander that is just begging for this, but typically you either want to Voltron it up or you want to swarm with a giant army. So it'll find a home, and when it does, it'll be magical. Tithe Taker is just absolutely beautiful. Now keep in mind, it only taxes them on your turn, but I swear to you, they're going to keep making enough taxing cards to where when I eventually get around to building Grand Arbiter Augustine the Fourth, it's going to be nothing but taxing cards, and that is just going to be mentally taxing. By the way, I'm still learning how to use this program. I just downloaded it, so this is kind of the first thing, and that's probably what I'm going to do with this 100 Days of Magic is try new stuff and see if I can get better at it, see if I can get good, and just, grow as a content creator as a whole. So then we got Mass Manipulation, which is their card to us. And quite frankly, I don't know that we're going to embrace it a whole bunch. 60 card Magic will ignore this completely, I'm pretty sure. If you've got infinite mana, there's better things to do than steal all the creatures or planeswalkers. There really is. So, but, at one, if you're only stealing one, it's going to cost you 6. 2 is going to cost you 8. Is that right? 2, 2, 4, and then 3, 3. So that's 10 for 3. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a quarter rare. Pestilent Spirit is. Now, keep in mind, the Ravnica sets are very, very popular, and everything is. I don't know that they are as opened as Dominaria was, because Dominaria was one of the most open sets I've seen in recent memory. But now this is neat. Your instant sorceries have Death Touch, so this makes me want to play. Where my mind goes with this is going in a red-black build of some sort, where I have an Akroma's Memorial and all of those hurly-burly type 1 damage to all creatures, and it has Death Touch, but you've got a whole bunch of them. So maybe even like what is that? Icecrown Scepter, to put one of those on an Icecrown Scepter, so you can just do it over and over again. But we've just in a few cards we've run up into some money there, hadn't we? Anyway, I like it. Spawn of Mayhem is I don't know. Why does it need to be cheaper? It's a 4-mana 4/4 flying trample. There's a lot of 4-mana 4/4 flyers. A lot. So, But that second or the last paragraph there seems like it screams the original Marchesa, because Marchesa, you can't be at the highest life, so you are running cards to pay your life down, and you get to under 10. Of course, now there's some vampires that have a bloodied ability when you're at 10 life or less, but it's really harder to make work in Commander because we start off at such, it's a 40 life format. And Marchesa also works well with the +1/+1 counter, but I'm sure there's other homes for the Spawn here. I think if it was 5 mana, it wouldn't be a mythic, but just me. Amplifier, I love. This is not a card. This is a deck. So, okay, here's my idea. You play Amplifier. Keep in mind, this is a magical Christmas land scenario. By the way, we all use it, Thank you, Evan Irwin, for that term. It's been a long, long time ago, but thank you. But anyway, you play the amplifier. You played it with flash because you've got your Veldalkin Ore. Okay. If not, if you don't have it, you have to cast it during your main phase. Hopes it makes an entire table revolution, and which that's hoping a bunch, because 4 mana 1/1, everybody's going to read it and they're going to know pretty much what you're doing. Now, so you reveal cards until during your upkeep. It doesn't happen before combat, so you can't do it and then you can't you've got to untap with this guy. So you untap with it during your upkeep. You mill till you hit the only other creature in your deck, which is going to be the Great Worm. So we're at 3 colors now: black for the tutor. Green's got the Worldly Tutor, which you need. You've got to have Amplifier. You've got to have it. So all the tutors, not terribly original deck, but you reveal cards to reveal the Impervious Great Worm. This guy becomes a 32/32, and you just go to town. Now, all of that gets put back on the bottom of your library, so you're going to do it every turn. Now, is it worth blue to have double upkeeps? No. It doesn't get plus. It just becomes twice. So even if you do it twice, it's still producing the same effect. You can do it a million times. It's still going to be a 32/32 with the Great Worm. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a one-trick pony, and it's probably not going to do much. But you know what? I'm probably going to build it. What is that? Green, black, red, Jund. There's so much better things to do with Jund, but I don't know. It's maybe one of those old legends that I'm not doing anything with anyway. I haven't built. Biogenic Upgrade is a 6 mana sorcery that is, I really, really like it. You distribute those 3 counters, and then you double the amount of counters on each one of those creatures. Now, this is obviously perfect for any green X +1 counter strategy. I mean, anything that says double the number of counters has got to be pretty good, right? 6 mana, it's probably accurately costed. Rampage of the Clans. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments, and then everybody gets a centaur for each permanent destroyed this way. Now, this is one of the greatest. I love it's an instant. It's the greatest offensive and defensive cards. Okay, because yes, there are a ton of artifacts and enchantments that need to get gone. But now, if you're running the deck with clues or treasure or anything, gold, whatever, not only can you get rid of the problems that ail you, you can turn your clue tokens into beaters. I like it. Now, good buddy Adam Spain over at Homeward Path podcast sent me this when it was revealed. And you know what? I like it. And it occupied a ton of mental real estate for me. It really did. So, but I can't decide on it. Number one, first and foremost, this is not Seedborn Muse. It only happens once. It only happens at your instep. And therefore, obviously, it's not going to take the place of Seedborn. But I think it does have its uses. Not in mono green per se, unless you're, instant heavy. But I think in a green X, now obviously it's perfect in green blue because that's what they made it for, the Simic Guild. But if you can tap out on your turn, tap all your stuff, and then at the end of your turn, all your lands untap and you're holding up counter magic or, reactive mana for anything. Doesn't have to be counters, but in blue, that's probably what it would be. It solves that problem for you. Next, we've got Absorb. Absorb is not terribly overwhelming. It was the first time we had it, but that 3 life will matter some of the time. But you know what? In a 40 life format, not so much. I'm kind of disappointed. They give us Absorb, but we got through Dimir with no Undermine. I don't know. But yeah, most of the time this is cancel. But cancel with upside is pretty much what we're getting nowadays. Biomancer's Familiar is named wrong. It really, really is. Now, it has a first ability and a second ability, and in my opinion, they don't go together. That's two different decks, is what it wants. Obviously, you're going to put it in the adapt deck that I'm probably going to build with the new Zagana. But that first ability says, I am Memnarch's familiar. Yeah. Or, if you just want to, it is blue and green, so you have access to Titania Song and March of the Machines. If you want to like turn your Staff of Domination into a creature, you can get nuts with that too. First Planeswalker, Dovin, Grand Arbiter. I guess Augustine is no more or got replaced. 3 mana, 3 loyalty walker. Now, 3 mana walkers have typically been +1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you put a loyalty. Whenever a creature you control. So if I have 3 creatures that deal combat damage, it gets 3 loyalty. Whenever a yeah. So blue, white, skies, weenie kind of maybe. I don't know. -1, create a colorless thought. Yeah, flying. And you gain the life. -7. Look at the top 10 cards of your library. Put 3 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. The ultimate is not game winning, but it seems like it's going to be easier to get to because of that that +1. It really seems like this is just a reusable walker to reuse that ultimate over and over again. Well, that seems pretty neat. Emergency power, 7 mana instant. Hand, graveyard, in their library, draw 7 cards. So we have a 7 mana instant time twister. If you cast it during your main phase, you get a free drop, 7 cost or less. Well, did that just become a sorcery? I think it just became a sorcery to me. Frilled Mystic are double for Cynic. If you'll notice in Guilds of Ravnica, they did a double for all of the guilds. We have 3/2 flash, 4 mana, 3/2 flash. When it enters the battlefield, you may counter target spell. Oh my gosh, Stampeding Wildebeest is my best friend. Or Stampeding Sero, but yeah. There's a lot of good, put creatures back in your hand cards. My one of choice happens to be, Stampeding Wildebeest because it happens every turn, and you can bounce things like this or Wood Elves or other stuff. I like it. It's what is this? Mystic Snakes. What we used to have. It was a 2/2 flash for blue green 1. So here we get a 3/2, and it's uncommon. It's not rare. That's the beautiful part. Growth Spiral. Growth Spiral, I looked at it and I went, it's Explorer. I don't understand why it's... And then I saw the instant part and I was like, whoa. That matters a lot. That's worth turning that colorless to blue to make it instant speed. Because not only can you draw a card on somebody else's turn, you lay a land on somebody else's turn, and you get that landfall trigger. So if you need that landfall trigger to produce another mana or to do whatever, you've got it. I like Growth Spiral. High Alert. 3 mana enchant. Each creature you control signs combat damage equal to its toughness. Here we go. Now this 4 mana untap, that seems tacked on. I feel like they did it and they were like, it's not enough. It's not worth a card. And then they, mana untap a creature. But obviously this is going to go in the dragon, the walls dragon. I can't remember, but it's in there. It's going to go in every single one of those. We all know it because it was made for it. It's kind of some redundancy. Judith. Not really a fantasy name, but it's all good. 3 mana, 2/2, human shaman. Other creatures you control have +1. So she's an anthem. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, she deals 1 damage to any target. That's neat. I'm sure there are better versions of sacrifice commanders out there. Was it La Sola or whatever? But I like that she deals 1 damage to any target. Of course, it makes you want to strap on a Basilisk Collar or anything that gives her Death Touch. I like the Anthem. And I like the fact that she's in red, black, these sacrifice colors, so that you can trigger the ability. Pretty neat. That's probably where I'm going to go with it, is the, splat your own stuff and let her pave the way. And maybe that Anthem ability, though, kind of throws me. It kind of makes you want to go wide on it, but not so much because you eating them. But anyway, Kaya, I think. Orzhov Usurper. Now, this makes total flavor sense to me because the old guild leader for Orzhov was the Ghost Council, and she's the Ghost Assassin. It's beautiful. I love it. Let's see. Another 3-mana, 3 loyalty walker. Exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life if at least one creature was exiled this way. So you don't have to have a creature to get the +1, but to get the life, you do. -1, exile target non-land permanent with CMC 1. Okay. If you're just that messed up about Soul Ring, Mystic Remora, you're not hitting top off of it, obviously. I guess land tax, Miri's Guile. Anyway, -5. She deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards that player owns in exile. White and black are the exile colors. White, probably more so. Maybe we build she'll be in a Exile Matters deck. I haven't done that yet. I think I want to do that. Maybe I got to find a commander for that. Lavinia. Oh my God, Lavinia is the truth. Okay. 2-mana, 2/2, and she punches Narset in the face, Itali in the face, all that stuff that says cast a spell if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it. Got your number, Narset. And she's a 2-mana commander that's probably coming down on 2, or anytime you want after 2. I love it. She's in flash granting colors, so you can probably do that. Yeah, and it's the ramp player's nightmare as well. For everybody that likes to turn 1, throw out a random Mox and a Soul Ring, and turn 2 play a 5-drop. No, not now. This card is going to be a presence in our format until the end of time. It'll never get banned because it keeps. This is a safety valve to keep other cards from getting banned. I really believe it, and I can't wait. This is the actual store championship version, because on Mythic Spoiler, once you click it, it changes to this image. But I love Lavinia. Prime Speaker Vanifar. 4-mana, 2/4, Birthing Pod. Yeah. Birthing Pod on your commander. I know a lot of people who would have run Birthing Pod as their commander if the rules would have let them. Not bad. Does tap. She is sick. Elf Ooze Wizard. I mean, is that not everything that's Simic? Pretty good. Rakdos the Showstopper. Now, I posted a picture up on Twitter. There are, of those 3 creature types, we are looking at, there are 35 imps, 22 devils, and 95 demons in those 2 colors on Gatherer. Now, this is obviously not counting this set, because I'm sure it's going to give us some of those, probably a lot. But I feel like demons are going to be the thing to go with it. I'm probably not going to go with demons, but I do like the tribe aspect. Y'all know that. But, man, imps or devils, 22 devils, that's not a whole bunch. Imps, man. And I love that flavor text. Entertain me. Of course, Crack's Thumb. It's got to be in there. Ravager Worm at 6 mana for a 4/5 Riot. I just don't. choose up to one. So you don't have to pick one. It can fight a creature or destroy a land with it. I don't understand why this is mythic. This may be the junk mythic. I don't think that's worth 6 mana. But anyway, I could be wrong. It could be busted. Seraph of the Scales. Now, here again, I have yet to build, what is that original black-white Selena Dark Angel. I have yet to build her. And it looks like we're going to go Orzhov Angel someday when I do get there. Yeah. She gets a Vigilance or a Death Touch. Now, she dies to a Bolt, but in our format, that's fine. Everything dies to something, right? Simic Ascendancy. When it's got 8 lines of text, you know it's got to be good, right? So you can pass out counters. And when something gets counter, this gets a growth counter. I love how they use growth counter and not like charge counter or something like that. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if it's got 20 or more counters on it, you win the game. This is obviously going to go in every Simic +1 counter matters deck ever. Ever. Ever, ever. It needs to, you know. I'm going to have to go back and I got to get like 15 of these, I guess. Teysa Karlov. Now, is Karlov a title or is that her last name? Have we just never known her last name? By the way, this is amazing art. Oh my gosh. And if a creature dying calls a triggered ability of permanent you control to trigger, it triggers at 1 additional time. What? She doubles death triggers in Orzhov? Come on. That's amazing. That's Death Trigger Teysa. That's how I'm probably building that one. Sagana the Speaker. Now, this is one of the early ones that we got. 4 mana, 4/4. And if you control another creature with a 1/1 counter on a draw card, it doesn't matter if you've got 1 or 50. You're only drawing 1 card. And then the adapt is that monstrosity fixed, if you will. If it had no counters on it, of course, it does give. That last line is probably the reason why my favorite of the 3 is that your 1/1 counter guys have trample. So there's pretty good. I like New Zagana. I believe Haunt of Hightower is our last card. Now this is it's the buy box. It's not in packs. The only way you can get it is to go to your local game store and purchase a box of this set, which is what we all should be doing anyway, because we don't want to do Amazon or whatever. You know, that's not supporting the game. Supporting the local game shop supports the game. But anyway, Haunt of Hightower. It seems like it was 5 mana, and they felt they didn't want another Nexus of Fate problem, which I never thought there was a Nexus of Fate problem. They made it good. Yeah, that's good. Keep making the good cards. Don't make them, because this is obviously a little underpowered. Keep making the Nexus of Fate broken powerhouse cards that you can only get by buy a box. That's the point. It works. It gets people into their LGS to buy stuff. And that's what we want to do. And that's what we need to happen in this day of you can get, boxes at any time online. But anyway, Flying Lifelink, when it attacks, defending player discards a card. And when a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, that's my favorite phrase in Magic, from anywhere, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Now, I just saw a post on Twitter today. Dark Deal is amazing with this guy. Now, you kind of want to go discard first, but even Graveyard Nil would work. But if this is your commander, you can't use blue. So there goes the traumatize aspect. Now, if this is in the 99 of a Dimir deck, then, if this is in there, then I'm going to run Traumatize. Oh my gosh, am I going to run Traumatize? But then it's not commander damage. But so as far as me building this guy, I'm going to try to do the most efficient discard I can. However, that's Discard makes you a target. It does. It makes you a target so bad. But anyway, I believe that is what. Yep, that's all the spoiler or the previews that I've got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, this has been day 6 of the 100 Days of Magic. Hope this turns out well. This is actually my 4th time trying to record this morning because I've lost a few. It's just been a learning experience. So I'll learn more. Tell me what you think, and we'll see you tomorrow.